Good morning, everybody, to the Service Station Operations Learnership. My name is Graham Ward, and I'll be taking you through Unit Standard 14912 in today's session. And let's get started straight away. I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see what's going on. So you would have received the material from us by now, and I'm just going to minimize that too. Get rid of that. And I'm going to take you through control function home. Let's just get there, control function home. As you can see, this unit standard is called Maintain a Safe and Secure Wholesale and Retail Environment 114912. It's worth 10 credits. So we're going to just go straight into the learner workbook here, which you need to complete. And please note that when you complete this learner workbook here, there are areas where you need to sign your name and put the date in. So, and don't forget, you need to get a minimum of 80% here in order to be able to proceed to the portfolio of evidence or summative assignment. So have a look here straight away. Let's go through the questions here. Discuss the rights of both employer and employee in terms of the Occupational Health and Safety Act. If we have a look at the learner guide here, let's go to the rights. Okay, let's go rights. There we go. So have a look on this page here. There's the employer's rights and responsibilities. You'll need to note these down. And then you're also able to note down the rights of an employee. These must also be added into that question there. So that's that first question. As you can see, those are on page, the rights of the employee on page 9. And the ones were just before that. So have a look on those. Those are where the answers are sitting there. Okay. Let's go to the next question here. Make a list of possible health and safety risks that exist in a retail and outlet environment. Discuss the preventative measures that exist. Provide at least 5 examples of where employees should be aware of health and safety risks on the floor. So let's have a look at that. Let's go look at the health and safety risks here on the learner guide. If health, let's just see if that brings us something. What's this coming to? No, that's that one. Okay, right, health. There's the effects of poor health. Okay, so there's the second part of the question, things like spillage. So when we look at this question here, when it says here, discuss preventative measures, here you can actually bring in this here to say spillage, you should clean up all spills, trailing cables should be not left unattended, you must remove rubbish, and make sure that rugs, mats are securely fixed, and that the flooring has slopes. It must have handrails. So there's that second part of the question there. But let's try and get to the first part here, and that is possible health and safety risks. Well, those also are the possible health and safety risks there as well. Okay. So that's the answer to that question there. You just need to put those in there, reducing the risks. And you could have hazards. You can bring this into it as well. These issues here are also part of health and safety, and we must try to minimize them. Okay, so that's that question there. Let's go to the next one there. Make a list of 5 areas in your retail store where security could be a risk. Describe why you feel there is a risk. So let's have a look at that. Let's go down here and have a look at the risks. So again, we're looking here. Let's just reread that question. Make a list of 5 areas in your retail store where security could be a risk. Okay, so let's have a look here. Let's go for security. SECURITY. Let's have a look here. Where security could be a risk. Let's try again here. Always military manager, effective health and safety. No, not that, not there. Security control. So areas where you could have risk. Okay, let's just go back to this one here. Make a list of 5 areas in your retail store where security could be a risk. Describe where security could be a risk. Let's go here. So areas where security could be a risk. Areas where information is processed, such as administration offices, cash offices, those are risk areas, receiving areas, and stock rooms. Those are areas where you could have risk and need to be secured. So that will answer that question there. And then describe why you feel they're a risk, because cash could be taken or unauthorized access could happen. So those are the kind of things you want to bring just to give a reason behind information that's not necessarily is confidential information could also be accessed. The storerooms stock could be removed unauthorized. So just give a little explanation of those to gain the marks there. Okay, let's have a look again over here. Identify at least 5 hazards in the workplace. Okay, let's go and find out 5 hazards here. Let's have a look there. Okay, so there's a hazard, maybe one of these. You could identify 5 of these are hazards. Okay, so there they are. That's the answer to that question there. And then the second part of the question says, and explain why you say this. So when you put that there, you need to give an explanation why a trailing cable would be a hazard, because people could trip on that trailing cable, or a worn carpet, people could trip as well, or an uneven floor, people could slip, or again trip here. A broken chair, people might fall off the chair. So just give a reason and an explanation as to why you think it is a hazard. All right, and then what general rules should you follow when you suspect there is a shoplifter? Let's go and have a look at that. Let's see there. Okay, what should you do? Identifying shoplifters. Okay, let's have a look at the question again to make sure I'm answering it correctly. What general rules should you follow when there's a suspect? Okay, let's just have a look here. Let's just see here. Okay, there they are there. There's the general rules when dealing with shoplifters. Never arrest the suspect in the store. Make absolutely sure the suspect has shoplifted the product. Always call it the security manager and follow the company procedures. That is the answer to that question there. Okay. Locate and explain in detail at least 5 different safety and emergency signs in your workplace. So let's try and look for those. Let's have a look here. Safety and emergency. Let's just see if we can get the signs. There we go. So there's an exit sign, a fire exit, emergency alarm. That is a sign. An exit is a sign. Safety, walk, don't run. First aid is a sign. Assembly point is a sign. Emergency stop buttons or evacuation procedures. So to answer this question here, you simply need to explain in detail at least 5 signs. Okay, so that's what you're looking for here. At least 5 signs. You don't need to list them all, and just provide in detail what the sign is actually doing. And you can see that over here in the detail side of it here. It is an emergency alarm in case of an emergency. So you would just fill in those details there. Okay, let's see what else we've got here. When it comes to the OHS Act, what is each company required to have regarding evacuations? Let's just do that. Regarding Control S, evacuations. Let's have a look here. Evacuations. Vacuations. Let's have a look. There's only one. Let's go and do that and just say evacuation. Oh, it's not finding it. Let's just see if we can get it down a bit further down here. There's more signs here. So there's plenty that you can be using here. Safety lines. Let's just go and try and use another search word here to get where we want. It is over here. Try regarding evacuation. So let's just have evacuation. Oh, it should be here. Let's just see. There's a different emergency situation. There's the evacuation procedure there. So this is what you were going to list here. Have an evacuation plan, identify individuals with specific roles, review the plan on a regular basis, ensure the list of role players is current, and evacuation drills must be performed as a requirement here. So that's the evacuation procedures, okay? And that's what this question is asking you to detail here. Let's see if there's anything else you could have added in there. Okay, there's an evacuation. Yeah, so there's the different roles. Okay, so there's more that you could add if you wanted to, but in principle, that's the evacuation procedure. Okay, so what 4 considerations, let's just put an S there, what happened to that now? Let's just see here. Let's just try that. No, it doesn't really like it. Okay, what 4 considerations need to be made when locating safety equipment? When locating safety equipment at a business. Okay, so let's just look at safety equipment then on the learner guide. What considerations? S-A-F-T-E-Y, T-E-S-A-F-E-T-Y. Let's see. Well, let's just go down here. Let me reread the question because I've forgotten already. What can we locating safety equipment? Let's see if we search it. There we go. So there's the answer to this question here. These are the points you need to add in. Some do's and don'ts of locating safety equipment. You want to do the do's because I think he's asking what do we need to locate to be made when locating safety equipment. You need to bring in these 8 points here and bring those 8 points in there. Okay, so there they are there. Some do's and don'ts. Bring these in, you'll get the marks for that question there. All right, let's go further and see what else. Identify the following different types of safety equipment. That's fairly easy. You'll see those answers here. So you can match the picture here. There's a fire hydrant or fire extinguisher, and you would be able to then say, that's there. You can put the details in over here. There's the details there. Okay, so that's for that question there. Sorry, I'll just press the wrong button there. Let's get out of that. No, I've done it again. Oh dear. Let's do that again. Let's go here. And I think we could be at the end of there we are. So all these need to be identified here on the learner workbook. You need to identify all of these and you'll gain the marks. And then just don't forget to populate the descriptions here. And that's the end of this summit learner workbook. Please do remember to sign here and to date it on the date that you've completed it, and then we will date on our side here when we assess this. So that's the end of that workbook for Unit Standard 114912. Wishing you all the best with that, and contact Rion if you have any issues, and he will arrange to collect the books from you at the required time on the rollout plan. Thank you for listening. Bye.